Hey everyone, this is Kristen Curtis, social media specialist at Constant Contact, and I am here with one of our fantastic solution providers to talk a little bit about competition and how to succeed in a competitive world. So I will let him introduce himself.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Ward with Concert Web Solutions, and we're based in Gardner, Massachusetts, right outside of, actually not too far from Constant Contact headquarters.
Fantastic. And what do you guys do?
So primarily what we do, our company is built as a web-based business. We also provide print brokering and promotional products for our clients to succeed in their marketing efforts. So kind of the whole marketing realm. We believe InConcert pretty much stands for that your website is in concert with all your other marketing materials. So that's the plan, is to tie it all together.
Fantastic. So if you guys need anybody to tie your materials together, InConcert's here for you. So we have just a couple questions for you. The first is, so as a solution provider, you've been able to hopefully grow your business, but in an increasingly competitive environment. So what have you done to kind of beat out the competition in a sense? What tips do you have to beat out?
Well, the first tip I will tell other solution providers is don't compete on price, because it's just not worth it. And I learned that early on, but yet had a lot of problems not wanting to lower my pricing just to get the job. But there comes a point where you're not profitable when you do that. And there's a lot of web development companies out there, and I started like them with single person shops. You know, I started like everybody else probably in a one-room location in my house, and now we have 7 employees in an office in Arizona, and purchased a company in Minneapolis, Minnesota last fall. And so as we continue to expand, what we have focused on is bottom line. We focus on the profitability of the company, and what makes us different, I think, is that we're honest with clients. We're upfront, we disclose information, and we try and educate them along the way. And we realize it's okay if somebody doesn't choose us. That actually has resulted in other referrals from people who didn't choose us to people who are still looking, because they see that as a value-added thing, where they see it as integrity and honesty. And so that's what I built this company on, and that's the goal, you know. The biggest problem, I think, in our industry, in the web industry, is that so many people don't call people back. And that's probably in a lot of industries the case. I know the IT business, that's very common. In our industry, web people don't call people back. So typically, if somebody calls 3 web companies, I'm the only person to call back. So companies in our industry need to make it a priority to set up the structure within the company so that the person who's coding the websites and designing the websites is not the person who's doing the sales. Because if you do that, you're going to be chasing the sale. Then when you make the sale, then you're going to be delivering the product, and it's just, there's too much. There's not enough time in the day to do it all. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did probably about 6 years ago, and since then we've augmented the business and gave everybody an individualized role. And so I call people back now, and I make sure they get called back.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Customer service in general, making sure that you're there. I think as a customer, as opposed to a solution provider, your price point is kind of something that you want to remember. It's okay to think about potentially outsourcing your marketing or your websites to somebody like a solution provider, because in the long run, it may cost you a little bit of money up front, but it could potentially make a lot of money for you.
Yeah,
so I think that's
also really when the economy turned, internal resources were laid off, and so as the economies come back, people are looking instead. They're looking to market instead of hire right now, and so outsourcing is a great way to do that. And so typically their internal IT person was their web guy before, or web person before, and so that was a $60,000 or $70,000 or $80,000 job, and they can outsource that for between $5,000 and $10,000 on average per year, which is a huge cost savings.
Right, exactly. So on that means of competition, so how can you effectively market Constant Contact when we have, at Constant Contact, have so many competitors ourselves? What do you find really drives that message home?
For us, first of all, we don't talk about any other email marketing platforms at all. And that when people come to us and they mention the other names, yeah, we've heard of them, but we don't engage in that conversation. We basically tell the client, this is what we use, this is what we recommend. If you choose to use another provider, that's your choice, but we can't help you in that regard. We might be able to do the connection with the email sign up or something, but we do a lot of API work for the Constant Contact API, and so we won't do that with other competitors of yours. But primarily what our sales tactic is we tell people all the time, what's the number one thing that sets you apart? And they always say, everyone always says customer service. And so our immediate response to that is, that's why we chose Constant Contact, because they're real people. It's a local money, and granted we're doing national business, but for us a majority of it's in Massachusetts. So that's a good sales angle. If you're not in Massachusetts, maybe not so much, but the customer service aspect is huge. And I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen the responses that Constant Contact comes out with to people who have issues or challenges, and they turn problems into believers and champions of the brand, and that's a great thing to do from a social media aspect. And when you can do that, it makes our job as Constant Contact solution providers a lot easier to sell the product.
That's fantastic. So let's get a little bit away from Constant Contact just real quick. What do you think is the most important reason that any small business should be using any sort of marketing, whether it be us or somebody else?
So it's really all about, everybody tells you that they get the majority of their business from what? Word of mouth, right? But in reality, how much word of mouth business can you get, and how can you track that? So you might track it in some form or fashion by jotting down the person's name that referred you and saying them a thank you note and keeping track on a spreadsheet. But really it's all about touches. And when we have had staff here before doing sales, we had a policy where no matter the client, no matter the relationship, you had to touch that client some form or fashion, whether it be email, phone, or in person, every 90 days, or you didn't get your commission. And so we believe in that, and so email marketing is a big piece of that. So it doesn't matter who it's with, even if it's just a simple email you're sending. And certainly the blast covers a lot more people, and the deals you can give in there, or the carrots, the call to actions, the downloadable white papers, all those things are all great. But the bottom line is you need your brand in front of your customer. We recently started Q3 of last year. We started a partner program where we reach out to IT professionals and we pay them a percentage, similar to what you guys do, for referrals. And our whole goal is, even if we have to send a $4 check to somebody, they get an envelope with our name on it every single month, and they get a check with our logo on it every single month, even if it's for $4. It's another touch point, and it's very effective. And so that's what really marketing is all about, right, when it comes down to it. I don't even know what the numbers are anymore. I used to hear 20, 30, 40 times that you have to test somebody before they buy. Now with all the noise, maybe it's more, maybe it's less, I don't know. But you have to get the message out there, and that's another piece of doing that.
I agree. I think the biggest point is top of mind. I think that, a lot of people, especially when they go on social media or their email marketing, they talk a lot about themselves and feel like if they're not talking their promotions or what's going on, then why are they doing it? But top of mind is more than just that. It's educational pieces, it's tips, it's just your name being out there. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, we call that TOMA, top of mind awareness. And that, a perfect example of that is we talk to a customer, a photography customer, and photographers are not always great for us because there's a lot of website companies that specialize in copyrighted photos that a photography is going to put online. They have the buy now and all that option. We talked to him. He didn't buy from us. That's okay. But last night on Facebook, he tagged me in a post where somebody was looking for web hosting and said these guys have integrity. They've talked to us, and they even told us not to go with them. And so they referred us, and it's top of mind awareness. That's what it constantly is. So the more you're out, whether you're out in the chamber or you're out in a networking environment like the local business journal, the whole idea is to get your card out there and get your name out there so that you are top of mind when the next person needs a referral, and that's how the word of mouth works. You know, you can't expect to get word of mouth if you sit behind your desk all day, never hand out your business card, never send an email, never talk to people on the phone. How, you know, your clients aren't, you have to sometimes ask your clients for the referral. And that can be very effective as well. That's another tool that we use. We ask, you know, maybe quarterly, maybe yearly, depending on the client, we ask them for referrals. And it works every time we do that.
Yep, that's actually, we call that the power of the ask. And I'll actually include a link to a guide of that in this video so you can all see it. But I think the main point of this is with competition, really the way to beat it is with word of mouth, being out there and letting people know you're there, as well as customer service. Customer service is really important, and you need to make sure that you are paying attention to your customers and doing everything for them so that they remember you and know that you'll take care of them. So I just want to say thank you so much to Matt from In Concert. We are so thankful for you, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.